Hello, I'm Park Kwanghyeon, who is in charge of oral presentation at the International Conference of the Korean Society of Integrative Medicine. Today, I will present the impact of predictive performance and actual performance on attempt decision. The table of contents is we will proceed with the presentation in the order of research background, research purpose, and concept definition, research method, main result, and conclusion and clinical implication. In daily life or rehabilitation, the purpose of deciding whether the subject will attempt or stop is very important. Many falls and accidents occur not because of a lack of physical ability, but because they have tried to act with a higher level of difficulty than their actual ability. In other words, attempt behavior is not just a movement, but a cognitive decision-making behavior that combines perception and judgment about own abilities. However, most of the evaluations so far have been based on the result after attempt. In other words, we have only measured time, distance, and success. This approach is assessed as actual. It does not explain from what criteria did you decide to attempt. In the end, the focus of the evaluation remained on the outcome-based. Therefore, this study aimed to pay attention to the pre-action phase, that is the attempt decision itself, not after the action. In this study, the research was conducted with the following concept. I would appreciate it if you could refer to it. The purpose of this study is to analyze how the difference between predictive performance and actual performance affect behavior, initiation, judgment, i.e. attempt decision. There are two hypotheses. First, the larger the difference between prediction and actual performance, the more dangerous attempt decisions will be made. Second, the more physical activity you have, the more accurately you will perceive your performance ability. It's a research method. This study recruited 20 healthy adults without disease in the musculoskeletal system, nervous system, and visual vestibular organ within the last 3 months. The experimental procedure was measured and evaluated in the order of the predictive performance ability, actual performance ability, attempt decision, and physical activity. However, the specific purpose of the study was not notified in advance to prevent cognitive bias in the subject. In this study, the Y balance test was using to measure prediction and actual performance. In particular, the predicted distance was measured in 3 directions: front, rear inner, and rear outer by using the laser pointer to shoot the laser point where the subject predicted that it could be stretched to the maximum. The actual performance was measured for distance after the actual performance was performed in the same way. Measurements were normalized to lower estimate lengths. The crossing attempt time was measured by showing the same video to the subject and recording the individual prediction attempt limit in seconds by asking questions such as, do you want to start crossing when there are seconds left. The physical activity evaluation measured the total working amount and total working time during the week through the information recording on the smartphone. It was analyzed using SPSS statistical program. The general characters of the subject were as follows. As a result of the normality test, most of the variables satisfied the more normal distribution, but did not satisfy the normality in the crossing attempt time and total working time variables. So Pearson and Spearman correlation analyses were performed in parallel. Both analyses results showed the same correlation in the same direction, so the Pearson analysis results were present as representative values. This is the main result. There was a very high correlation between left and right predictive performance. In other words, the predictive trend on one lower extremity was almost the same on the other. There was a moderate correlation between left and right actual performance. As a result of analyzing the correlation between the prediction of the left and right and the actual performance ability in terms of consistency between the left and right performance ability, the predictive performance ability showed very high consistency, while the actual performance ability showed moderate consistency. The difference between left and right prediction actual performance showed a strong positive correlation with each other, confirming that the pattern of cognitive error is consistent left and right. There was a negative correlation between the prediction actual performance difference and the time of attempt crosswalk. The larger the prediction actual performance difference, that is, the more they overestimate their ability, the more dangerous they made when they attempt to cross when they were fear crosswalk signal. In other words, the difference between prediction and actual performance show a significant negative correlation with the time of crossing attempt, which is an attempt decision variable. This means that the more accurately one perceives one's ability, the safer one makes a judgment. This is the last one. It shows the correlation between the amount of physical activity and the predictive actual performance difference. This is left. It's on the right. As you can see, both left and right showed a negative correlation in the correlation between the prediction actual performance difference value. And the higher the amount of physical activity, the better the self-objectification tends to be. This study provides evidence that attempt decisions depend more sensitively on the consistency of predictive real performance than on actual performance. In other words, how exactly do you know is the basis for making the attempt decision, not how strong. In addition, the amount of physical activity was found to be a key factor in improving this consistency. This showed that the experience of repeated feedback, not just exercise, improves self-awareness. Therefore, clinically, a system is needed to move beyond traditional outcome-driven assessment to visual and education, the challenge, yeah, and predictive actual performance difference. This will allow us to present a new paradigm of evaluation. With this, I will end my presentation. Thank you for your attention.